Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this video on the Libra new moon, which is happening on October the 6th at 7:05 a.m. Eastern. This is a very powerful new moon that can reawaken this sense of joy and passion. If you've been feeling stuck, it can provide you with some momentum, some energy. It's also reawakening you to your creative self-expression, helping you transcend old patterns. There's really a lot going on here. When I first looked at this new moon, it felt very surface level, and then when I looked a little deeper, I'm like, oh wow, okay, there's a lot to really dive into here around this new moon. So as you join me, say hi, let me know your intentions for this new moon. And if you are new to me, my name is Kara. I'm a master astrologer, Akashic Records practitioner, trained psychotherapist. I love to bring these different modalities together to support spiritual entrepreneurs and light workers in tapping into the highest potential for their life and business as they discover the joy of co-creating with cosmic intelligence. So I'm going to share this video out here into my Facebook group as well, so everyone in that space can check it out. If you're not in there, I recommend joining me over there. It's called Spiritual Goddesses Healing the World Together, and that's where I've been doing most of my videos and trainings lately, more than on my personal page, but I was feeling called for today to do this on my main page here. So let's dive right in and take a look at these beautiful energies. So the first thing I really want to bring awareness to is just simply looking at the power of a new moon and what that represents, regardless of the sign that it is in. So new moons offer us energetic resets. And that's not something to take lightly. This is a big thing because what can often happen in our own personal life as well as in society as we see patterns of the past continuing to repeat in our present and then taking that with us into the future. And that can happen if we're on default mode or we're creating from a space of being unintentional about what we are putting out into the world. So new moons are that reset and that reminder that we don't have to take the past and put it into the present, especially if it's patterns that we want to transcend and that we don't want to see repeat. We can be intentional about what we are creating, but it does invite us to go within and really cultivate this sense of honesty and awareness about what we are activating in our energy field, about our habits, our actions, the choices that we are making in our life. And prior to the new moon, the moon enters a dark moon phase, which is very good for introspection. It is great for meditation, and it is great for cultivating awareness on what those patterns are in our life that we desire to shift. And with intention, we can create massive growth. Like, we can accelerate our manifestations, and we don't just have to continue to repeat old patterns. So I really feel there's power in honoring the energy of a new moon and taking time in ritual as well. Like, what I like to do with my crystals is put them out to charge in the new moon energy, and then I create a new crystal grid every new moon, and I infuse the energy of that crystal grid with my new moon intentions. And then every time I see that grid, I'm reminded of what I am creating. So we're really placing our focus not on the past, not on what we don't want to see happen, but we're really being intentional about what we do want to create, what we do want to activate in our field. If you are here, say hi so I can welcome you in. I'm not sure if I'm going to see comments here on Facebook. We are in the midst of a Mercury retrograde as well, which of course yesterday, right, we had Facebook and Instagram all shut down. So I have my MacBook here too, where I may be able to see comments as well. So definitely feel free to ask your questions, share your new moon intentions, and all that goodness as we go through this. I'm just going to make sure I've got everything up here on my MacBook as well. So that's just looking at the new moon energy in and of itself, intention setting, ritual, the opportunity to begin again. Now, if we really dive into this new moon specifically, we're working with primarily the energy of Libra. So I really want to take a look at the archetypal energy that we see surrounding Libra. So this represents our relationships. It represents balance and harmony and fairness and justice, and also this deep energy of love. And I feel that is so important right now, because we can look around in our world and feel like it's chaos. We can look around and we can notice the division, and we can get caught up in that. And if we allow ourselves to get caught up in that, we're removed from this energy of love, and we get caught in this cycle of fear and this energy of us versus them and the different ways that plays out. And it's really important that we begin to attune to all the ways that there is still so much love in the world. There's so much magic in the world. There's so many miracles that are happening each and every day. And the more that we begin to notice that, the more we begin to activate that in our field. And even deeper than that, it's actively being that expression of love in the world, not getting caught up in all of the drama and contributing to this division, but intentionally infusing more love into the world, being a living example of that. This Libra new moon is that opportunity to do that. Libra is ruled by the planet Venus, the goddess of love, of beauty, of prosperity. And I feel it's a call to return to that at this time, to again not only notice the expressions of love, of miracles, of magic in our life, but to be a living example of that, to embody that in all that we do. And to trust that's changing the world, because that's really what we learn with this Libra energy as well, is that our actions influence the people around us. Our thoughts hold an energy that influence the collective. We are not here in isolation. Everything we are doing is influencing those around us. And this doesn't mean we go into codependent patterns. This really comes to the forefront when we're looking at this new moon as well. If we look at the shadow expression, it can be taking responsibility for how other people feel, taking responsibility to how other people respond to us, and we can't do that. So those are two different things. We can have an awareness of the power of our words. We can know that we are not in isolation here, that how we show up, what we do, influences the relationships in our life, influences the planet, but being aware of where we may be in those codependent dynamics. Because the opposite of the Libra energy is Aries, and the way astrology works is each of the 12 signs of the zodiac have an opposite sign as well. And it's through that opposite sign, through bringing them both together, that we understand the wholeness of that energy. So when we're looking at Libra, we're also looking at the energy of Aries, and where Libra is all about relationships, Aries is all about the self. So the balance that Libra represents it's a few different things here. So one of them is the balance of learning to be really strong in who we are, learning to be independent beings, understanding that we are a unique expression of infinite intelligence, and at the same time, part of our human journey is learning to coexist in relationships, coexist in harmonious relationships, coexist with people who have their unique soul path and journey that is different than us, coexist harmoniously with people who see the world differently than we do. This new moon really speaks to that in big ways. The other way that the Libra energy really represents balance, because I know some people can stress over this idea of balance in their life, and how I see it is we can't always have this perfect balance. At different times in our life, we focus on different things more than others because that's what's needing our attention and our focus at that time. But again, the Libra energy, the balance it speaks to is to how we show up in our power as an individual while coexisting in harmony with the people around us, right? As well as this beautiful mergence of the masculine and feminine energies and how they are expressed within us. The masculine, which is the logical, the structure, the analytical, and the feminine, which is the creative, the intuitive. How are those coming together in your life? And is there one that's getting more attention than the other? How are they called to merge together? And what this balance looks like really is different for each and every person. And I see this when I do astrology readings as well. I see that some people have more of the masculine energy, some more of the feminine, and at different times in their life, different energies are actually in the spotlight as well. So this Libra new moon really speaks to that too. Now, another really obvious way this new moon can play out is bringing into our awareness the patterns in our relationships. So is there a pattern that seems to continually reoccur in the relationships in your life? And if that's happening, it's also understanding that, wait a second, I'm the common denominator here. I'm seeing this pattern again and again. So how am I showing up that's allowing this pattern to continue? And not from a space of guilt or blame or shame. There's none of that. Simply from a space of awareness of, okay, I see this pattern that's at play in my relationships. It's not serving me. It's not serving my growth. How can I choose again? And remembering this new moon energy is that energetic reset. We do not have to stay stuck in these patterns that don't serve us. We do not have to be in default mode. This new moon can be a new beginning for how you show up in relationships with other people, but also the relationship with yourself. And it begins with an awareness of what those patterns are in your life that you're wanting to transcend instead of continuing to repeat, which is powerful. Cultivating that awareness allows us to create that change. So those are the big themes just with the Libra energy alone, right? So we have this theme of balance between the masculine and feminine energies, this balance between how we show up being true to ourselves while coexisting in harmony in relationships, and how we can infuse more magic and pleasure and joy and love into our daily life. So even having an awareness of where you're kind of waiting for something to happen before you get to feel a certain way. So this could be waiting for a partner to come in. This could be waiting to make a certain amount of money. We put our happiness on hold, waiting for these external things, and we forget that this is something we generate internally, that we do not have to wait for something to happen outside of us in order to feel a certain way. And this new moon is that reminder to come back to what really lights you up and to find that magic, that joy, that pleasure in your daily life. Begin intentionally infusing that into your everyday life. And this also, of course, means having an awareness of what that looks like for you, what that means for you, what ultimately fills you up. How does it feel when you're in the space of joy and pleasure? How does that feel in your body? What activities activate that? What experiences activate that? And beginning to prioritize that. Because in our world right now, we are needing more people who are embodying the energy of love and who are expressing this love each and every day. And you can be a big part of that. You can play a big role in that. Okay, so let me look at the chart and see some of the aspects here. So what's really making this new moon very, very powerful and re-sparking this sense of drive and energy and motivation is that it's happening right next to Mars. So the sun, the moon, and Mars are all conjunct at 13 degrees. And in astrology, when we talk about conjunctions, it's basically the planets are at the same degree or within an 8-degree orb. So in this case, they're all at 13 degrees. And Mars is the planet of driving ambition. It's like our life force energy. If you know where Mars is in your chart, you have a good glimpse into your style of manifestation and how you work with your life force energy to create and to call in the experiences that you desire. So Mars happening right next to this new moon is giving us so much energy and drive. If you have been feeling stuck, this energy can help you get unstuck. This energy can build a lot of momentum quickly. So be very intentional about what you do desire to create, what you do desire to call in, because there's so much support here to build that energy, to build this momentum. This is also an opportunity to go inward and look at what does drive me, what's motivating me, what am I being driven by at this time in my life. life. Because sometimes we also can get really off track and we're working toward things that we think might bring us happiness, and we realize if we go a little deeper that we actually don't even care about that anymore. Maybe it's an old goal from the past, or maybe we're looking outside of us at other people and what they're creating, their life, and thinking that we want that too, without really going within and asking, is this part of my soul path? Does this really light me up? Right? And if it does, go for it. And this energy is going to help you really gain that momentum. But if it doesn't, really be honest about that and come back to what lights you up. Because when you are in alignment with what you truly desire on a soul level, what you truly feel your path and purpose is, manifestation naturally happens really easily because you're just in the flow of honoring your true desires, and our true desires hold so much energy in and of themselves, and they're so authentic to us that of course there's just less resistance around creating them. So lots of momentum there. Really take time to go with it and ask, right? Ask yourself those important questions. And this even goes back to what you truly value, right? Are you living in alignment with that? Because it's very simple when we talk about values, right? We hear about this often, and it's so crucial though, because if we're not living a life that's a reflection of our soul values, we won't feel joy and we won't feel fulfillment even when we're meeting our goals. So really important to go back to, what are my core values, and is my daily life, are my goals, are my intentions a reflection of what those true values are? And just doing that alone will give a lot of energy and momentum to what you are creating. Let me know that if this is resonating, if you are here live. I've got my MacBook up here too, where I may be able to see some comments as well. Okay, so another big thing happening right now is we have Mercury going retrograde, right? It's already been stationed retrograde at the time of this new moon. Really interesting yesterday, where we had Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp like all go down for hours at a time, right? I think it was 4 hours they were off grid. So Mercury governs technology, so it can really do those types of things, right? Cause tech mishaps, delays, all those things. Now, if you followed me for a while, you know I like to go a little bit deeper than that when it comes to Mercury retrograding and understanding it, because on a deeper level, Mercury retrograde really does help us be more introspective about our core belief systems, about the thoughts that we are entertaining, especially now where it's retrograding in Libra. This can really coincide with the relationships in your life. You may even see some past relationships coming back in where there was unresolved karma there, or maybe deeper levels of forgiveness work for you to do. And again, this can be romantic relationships. This could be relationships with our friends, with our colleagues. This energy of Libra represents all those connections in our life. And Mercury retrograde is that insight into how we are showing up in those relationships, what our thought patterns are. And again, this deep reminder of the power of our words, our thoughts. Like, we are not here in isolation. Yes, we are sovereign beings. We are unique expressions of source energy. And at the same time, we come here to coexist in relationships. And one of our deepest human needs is to feel a sense of belonging and to feel a sense of connection. So I really remind you today of just being here. Like, your unique energetic signature is influencing the vibration of this planet. Like, that's powerful. If you do nothing else, just by being here, you are making a difference and you are part of the collective energy. So imagine how powerful that is when you begin to intentionally use that. When you, in a beautiful, heart-centered way, when you realize how you show up, what your message is, how you spend your time, the decisions you make are influencing the collective consciousness and the evolution of this planet. That is huge. And I want that to feel exciting and expansive, not like, oh, this huge burden. It's like your soul chose to be here. And if you're still here on the planet at such an important time, you are part of the ascension. You play such a crucial role within that. And this new moon is awakening you to that as well. We're coming up on some really powerful times as we move into 2022 and wrapping up 2021. Not that we haven't already been in very powerful, transformative times, but we're really seeing the energy and momentum pick up. Now, even though Mercury is still retrograding, we have Pluto going direct on the day of the new moon. And this is really good for building momentum as well. So not only do we have Mars right next to the sun and moon, we have Pluto, the planet of power, of transformation, going direct. So again, so much momentum. And it really also speaks to the theme of power that I've been speaking to in my past few videos, because I'm really feeling that energy coming in. And we're really being aware right now of how we are using our personal power, our creative power, and the importance of having that be really rooted and grounded in love. And we're also becoming more aware on a larger scale of ways that power has been or is being misused as a way to manipulate people, to overpower people. We're really becoming aware of that so we can understand how to use power in a way that's very rooted and grounded in this energy of love. So I think it's amazing that Pluto, the planet of power, is going direct at the time that we are having a new moon in Libra, where Libra really embodies this energy of love. It just fits into this theme of let's move forward, let's be grounded in our power from a space of love. And that really is a choice that each of us have to make. Now, the main aspect, and when I say aspect, just to explain these astrological terms, so aspects are the relationships that the planets have with one another, and there's really only one main exact aspect that's happening at the time of this new moon, and that's a quincunx with Uranus in Taurus. So anytime Uranus comes into the mix, this is about progression, this is about advancement, this is about unexpected opportunities or changes that can come in that encourage us to move forward, or it's even more than encourage. It actually tends to just shake things up, and we have no choice but to say, okay, I'm going to evolve, I'm going to grow. And we're really going to start to see that in bigger ways on a collective level. And this can also play out in your personal life as well. You may find new opportunities coming in around this new moon. You may find that patterns you've been stuck in the past, it's like you just can't do that anymore. Like there's just so much momentum in a new direction. You won't be able to stay stuck where you are. And this could mean certain relationships begin to change. This could mean you change your career path. This could mean you change your business model. But it's really suggesting that something has to change here in order for us to fully move forward collectively. And again, in your own life too, this is really suggesting things have to change and shift, and that they will with this energy, this quincunx with Uranus. And the best thing we can do here is to go with it. When we resist change, that's when we can kind of get into a feeling of suffering. And we often resist change because of the unknown, because we don't fully feel safe. But change, the more quickly, I talk to my private clients about this as well, the more quickly that we can get on board with change in our life, the more quickly we're able to manifest as well. So if you find like your manifestations are being stuck, you're stuck and you're not moving forward, getting what you desire, then it can really be on some level of resistance to change, not feeling safe, stepping into the unknown, not feeling safe, stepping outside of what you know to be true, that comfort zone, into new territory. So the energy around this new moon is really going to say it's time to shift things, shake things up. Like things are moving here, but it does mean we have to lean in and be okay with transformation. We have to lean in and be okay with things changing in our life, and learning how to cultivate a feeling of safety and security within ourselves is really important. So I love different energy work. I work with EFT as a way to relax my nervous system, help my body feel safe. I do meditation, of course, working within the realms of the Akashic Records naturally connects you to source energy and cosmic intelligence, and allows you to know that you are safe in this universe, and you can allow your human self to feel safe during times of change. Cindy, hello, beautiful. Change is coming, so exciting, so ready for it. Yes, I love it. Yeah. Change is coming, and this new moon is bringing change. And I share this in the most exciting way. Let's all get excited for these changes that are unfolding in the world, unfolding in our life, especially when we incorporate the other elements of this new moon, being grounded in our power from a space of love, choosing to be an expression of love in the world, choosing to notice the magic and the miracles that are happening each and every day, right? That is a choice. That is something we can tune into, that we can opt into in our life, and it's so powerful when we do. So if you're just jumping in now, say hello. I know I didn't announce going live, but I just felt really inspired. So much dropped in. I'm like, I'm going to go live now. I'll also share this video out on YouTube as well. So if you're not following me on YouTube, be sure to jump over there. Cara Melendi on YouTube. If you're on YouTube and not on Facebook, join me on Facebook too. Okay, so Venus being the ruler of this new moon, we talked about that, bringing in the pleasure, the joy, this energy of love. So Venus is currently in the sign of Scorpio at the time of this new moon. And this is really powerful here. So there's different ways that this can play out and that we can explore this. So Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and it is the sign of death, rebirth, and transformation. So this can bring an intensity into our relationships. We may really find right now that we're really aware of who we're allowing into our energy. We're being very intentional about who we're spending our time with, the information that we're consuming, the relationships we're forming. And Venus and Scorpio also, it doesn't want superficiality. It wants to go deep. So the relationships that are in your life now, you're going to desire like, okay, like I really want to go deep with this. I want to get to know you. I want to form a soul bond and a connection. And people that you're not really interested in having that with, you may find you're not really giving your attention and focus to it with Venus and Scorpio. Now, another way I see this playing out is, again, this reminder that there can be beauty in the midst of transformation. So any transformation that we go through in our personal life, or that we go through on a larger scale as a planet, as a country, there's a time that it can feel very chaotic, right? When we're in the midst of transformation, it feels chaotic because we're moving away from the old. We're seeing a breakdown of the old, and we are creating the new. We're anchoring in new structures, and that process can feel a little unsettling. That process can feel a little chaotic. So the more that we can ground ourselves in that process, the more that we can remind ourselves that transformation is a beautiful thing, the more that we can remember the light on the other side of it, and not only on the other side, but that we can infuse in the midst of a transformation, that is huge. And I feel Venus and Scorpio at the time of this new moon is really sharing that message with us as well. That reminder that even in the time that can feel chaotic, we can find love, we can find beauty, we can find magic. And that's really powerful, and we can trust and know where we are going. So I feel that just speaks volumes here. So as you can see with this new moon energy, there's a lot that we can look at that's very topical, and then there's a lot when we go very, very deep here that can help us transcend old patterns, that can help us get back to what's truly driving us and motivating us and inspiring our actions at this time. And we can really move forward from a space that's deeply grounded in love. So thank you so much for joining me for this new moon video today. Enjoy these energies. If you want to go deeper in working with me, I do have the doors open to my Divine Creators Inner Circle. And this month we are looking at creating an abundant relationship with money. Libra season ruled by Venus also represents money as well. So we are working with this theme to heal old money trauma, build trust with money, beginning to anchor in that vision of yourself as a wealthy, powerful, loving woman. Just so much goodness. So if you're interested in learning more about that space, send me a message. Or if you're seeing this on YouTube, I'm just going to pop the link in the comment where you can check it out. All right, sending so much love and new moon blessings your way. Bye for now.